The White House in 3D. This model represents the White House in 2008. This is the South Lawn, where Marine One, the President's helicopter, lands. Diplomats arrive at the South Portico to be received in the diplomatic reception room on the ground floor. The East Garden was dedicated to Jacqueline Kennedy by Lady Bird Johnson. On the first floor here is the large ballroom called the East Room, and on the second floor corner closest to us is the Lincoln Bedroom Suite. At the other corner is the so-called Queen's Bedroom, named for all the royal guests who have stayed there. The modern East Wing was built in 1942 by Franklin Roosevelt. It mainly houses the social offices of the White House, including the First Lady's office. The East Wing was originally built as a formal guest entrance by Theodore Roosevelt in 1902, and the modern version continues to be the entrance for public visitors and social event guests. Between the East Wing and the residence is the Family Theater, where the President watches movies and practices speeches. The north side of the White House faces Pennsylvania Avenue. The north portico is the entrance used by many of the most honored guests of the White House. Here you can clearly see the ground floor, first floor, second floor, and the smaller third floor of the White House. The wide courts allow light into the ground floor and also into some of the basement rooms built under the north lawn. Between the residence and the West Wing are the press corps offices and the press briefing room. The press briefing room is built over the top of the old indoor swimming pool. The modern West Wing was built by FDR in 1935. This is where the President and his senior staff do their work. More executive branch staff have offices in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building next door. On the west side is an entrance directly into the ground floor of the West Wing. Here are more offices, as well as the Navy Mess restaurant and the Situation Room. The terraces on the south side are directly over the Navy Mess and the Situation Room. George W. Bush expanded and modernized the Situation Room in 2007. The outdoor pool was installed by Gerald Ford after Richard Nixon covered the indoor pool to create the press briefing room. The Oval Office sits at the southeast corner of the modern West Wing. This is where the President does much of his work, but he also has a small study right next to it, which is more private. The Rose Garden is where the President often holds press conferences in good weather. The Truman balcony was added in 1948 by Harry Truman. Notice the door that looks like a window. This is the view of the south lawn from the Truman balcony. The putting green has been used by many presidents. Dwight Eisenhower first created one right next to the Oval Office. President Clinton had this one created on the other side of the driveway. There has been a tennis court at the White House since 1902, when Theodore Roosevelt had one built on the south side of the West Wing. The modern tennis court is adjacent to the maintenance buildings on the south lawn. The Children's Garden was created by Lady Bird Johnson. It features cement impressions of the hands of several presidential children and grandchildren. Just west of the Children's Garden is the outdoor basketball court. From this angle you can see all the elements of the south lawn in relation to each other. Here you can see the southeast gate, which is the gate used by most regular visitors to the White House. The Visitors Center is the place where public visitors to the White House go first for a security screening. And here you can see the third floor of the White House, with the solarium sticking out over the south portico. This model of the White House was created in Google SketchUp by Peter Sharkey. It is hosted by whitehousemuseum.org. I am Derek Jensen.